Roger, my boy, that Willis Pointe property is as good as ours. It's as if the gods are smiling down on me.
Vernon, I don't mean to be a wet blanket, but Ben Chamberlain didn't file your escrow papers before he killed himself. What if Delilah Dane gets to it first?
You don't think I'd leave something like that up to chance, do you? It turns out my old polo partner Daniel Hubbard owns that escrow company.
So he agreed to sell you the land even though Ben signed Delilah's oil leases?
After a little persuasion, he came around to my way of thinking. They always do.
I wouldn't celebrate until you have the deed in your hand and Delilah's leases declared invalid.
It's being taken care of as we speak, my boy. Defeat is not an option here. With our Willis Pointe wells running dry, we must have that land.
I can't believe the two deposits are actually separated by 500 feet of shale. Jack Reynolds says there's no record of it ever happening anywhere else in the world.
That's why it went undetected for so long.
And all this time we thought it was one deposit. Our deposit.
It really doesn't matter, Roger. Soon it will be mine, shale and all.
Darlene!
Lionel, what are you doing here?
Business meeting. It's good to see you.
I'm here with Daddy and Roger. I was just going to freshen up.
You look radiant. You haven't returned any of my phone calls.
I know. I'm sorry. I've been very busy with my new position at Montgomery Oil.
Come on, Darlene. Don't you think we're a little beyond white lies to spare each other's feelings?
Okay. I really don't know what to say to you, Lionel. Honestly, I can barely look you in the eyes.
Why? We're still friends, aren't we?
How could we be after what I did to you? I feel like I did nothing but use you.
I didn't go into this with blinders, Darlene. I knew you were a married woman, not to mention Vernon Montgomery's daughter.
I should think you would never want to speak to me again.
I think that's what you're hoping for, 'cause you're afraid.
Afraid? Afraid of what?
Of your feelings for me. You weren't leading me on that much. I know that for a fact.
Lionel, don't. Daddy and Roger are right in there.
And I think you're afraid you won't be able to control those feelings, because I'm the only one you really want to be with.
Lionel.
Sorry, I shouldn't have kissed you like that.
I can't argue this way anymore, Lionel. Please, respect my decision.
You'll pay for this one, old man.
Vernon?
Daniel, thank you for coming under these terrible circumstances. Poor Ben. Please, sit down. Let me get you a drink.
No, none for me, thanks. Actually, I'm here celebrating with a friend.
And I can just imagine what you're celebrating. I'm paying you triple what the land is worth and a modest cut of what is under the ground. Soon we'll all be celebrating.
Yeah, well, something tells me not all of us will be celebrating today.
Oh, yes. Poor Delilah.
Did I hear my name?
Perfect timing, my dear. Wouldn't want you hearing this news from a stranger.
What a coincidence. I have good news of my own. Isn't that right, Danny?
Well, it sure is, honey. Well, Vernon, she offered me things that you never could. You remember, don't you, old boy?
What the hell is going on here?
Oh, it was so wonderful. We were able to renegotiate a deal that was, well, mutually gratifying, Danny.
Oh, in so very many ways.
You're a fool, Hubbard. I'll grind you into dust.
No more empty threats from you, Vernon. I'm sitting on the biggest oil strike in Louisiana's history thanks to 500 feet of beautiful shale. You know what makes it even better, Danny?
What's that, my dear?
It's all this greedy bastard has always assumed was his.
And it still is. The day I let you take one drop away from me will be the day they bury me.
You just try and stop me, you miserable old fool. Daniel, shall we?
You're making the biggest mistake of your life, Daniel.
I think I'll take my chances. Vernon?
Oh my God. Vernon, are you okay?
I was hoping I wouldn't be forced to...
Forced? To do what?
That oil is mine, Roger. A shale barrier won't stop me, and neither will that foolish little girl.
Look at him. I think that vein in his neck is about to burst. Oh, revenge is so sweet.
I've known Vernon for a long time, Delilah. He's gonna come back with bigger guns, you can count on it.
Let him. There's nothing he can do to me now. We're all going to be rich beyond our wildest dreams, and Vernon's reign of terror over this town will be over.
Yes, well, don't forget, Vernon's already that rich and twice as influential.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt.
Lionel Sinclair, you are most certainly never an interruption. Please, sit down and have a drink. You know Daniel Hubbard?
Yes, of course. Good to see you.
Likewise.
Delilah, I couldn't help but overhear your good news. I really think we should talk.
I would love to do business with you, Lionel, but Sinco refineries can barely handle the amount we pump now. I'll be pumping 5 times that within a few weeks.
The only reason for that's because we refine Vernon's oil too. But what if I were to say dump Montgomery oil on its collective ass?
You can't do that. Don't you have a contract with him? He'd own you before the ink dried.
It can be broken, I made sure of that. The only reason I kept refining for him is because of some ridiculous deal he made with my father. But Daddy's dead now, and I don't know that miserable son of a bitch the time of day.
Poor Vernon. I almost feel sorry for him.
It was just awful, Mother. I have hurt Lionel so deeply.
He knew you were a married woman, Darlene. He really has no one to blame but himself.
That's exactly what he said. He accused me of being afraid of my feelings for him. God help me, I think he's right.
Your father should be hung from an oak tree for manipulating you like this.
You know, Mother, strangely enough, I'm not that upset with him. He honestly believes Roger is the best thing for me, and he wants me to be happy.
You really shouldn't defend him. He doesn't deserve it.
Maybe not. But I do love my new position at Montgomery Oil. And it is true a divorce would create such a scandal.
It's amazing how he always seems to get what he wants.
I'm trying to organize the Harvest Ball.
Come in, Teresa.
It's really going to be something this year. All of the proceeds are going to help the refugees in Afghanistan.
I'm sure it will be lovely, dear.
I hope you'll be able to attend this year.
I'll try.
Good heavens, Mother, look at all those pills. How much medication are you taking?
Nothing that the doctor doesn't prescribe. Thank you, Teresa.
It's no wonder you never leave the house.
Oh, stop exaggerating. Why, I was just in town yesterday.
For a doctor's appointment, Mother. What are all of these pills for?
My nerves, my headaches. You know how bad they are. I think I feel one coming on now.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. I'll go and let you rest.
Yes, that would be best. Thank you, darling.
Teresa?
Yes, Miss Darlene?
Does my mother take all of that medication every day?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Am I doing something wrong? Mr. Montgomery gave me very strict instructions.
No, it's fine, Teresa. Thank you.
Yes, Miss Darlene.
I know exactly what to do.
I'm telling you, Mr. Montgomery, it's far too risky. The results could be devastating.
Now, Jack, as my lead geologist, you know I pay you to tell me what I want to hear, and what I want to hear is how you're going to make this work. I know it will. I can feel it.
Please, you have to listen to me. You can't go through with this.
Sorry I'm late. What the heck did I just walk in on?
Roger, you have to help me convince him.
Convince him of what?
Jack here's just being overly cautious. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
I think I'm going to be sick. Would somebody like to tell me what's going on?
It's simple. I'm going to take back what's rightfully mine and crush Delilah Dane while I'm doing it.
You need to let this go, Vernon. We know for a fact that it's 2 separate oil deposits. That means 2 sets of leases. Face it, you've wrung all the oil out of yours.
Not necessarily.
Oh, God, this is insane.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'll tell you. He wants to breach the shale barrier between the deposits.
Sure. And how the hell you gonna do that?
Simple, my boy. With a half dozen of these little beauties.
I hope those aren't what I think they are.
The latest in military explosives. These weren't even used at Tora Bora.
You see, this is insane.
I don't even see how it's possible.
When I learned what was happening, I had 3 8-inch shafts slant drilled 200 feet into the shale barrier. The charges will be placed and the shafts backfilled.
And what's going to happen when you set those charges off? Jack?
In theory, the barrier could semi-collapse. It would flood our deposit, essentially making it one deposit.
One deposit, one set of leases. My leases.
And in theory, what else could happen?
It could also cause our oil wells to catch fire.
Well then, there's no way I'm going to let you do this, Vernon. I'm sorry.
Thank God, finally, someone who listens to reason.
We're finished here, Jack. See to the preparations immediately.
Fine. I hope you can talk some sense into him.
Roger, now is not the time to go soft on me. I need you now more than ever.
I've always gone along with you, no questions asked, but not this time. Jack's an expert. He knows what he's talking about. My God, it sounds crazy. I can't let you do it.
I noticed you moved back into the mansion yesterday. At Darlene's request?
Yep.
Just like I predicted she would. I'm so glad I could help you in your hour of need.
I see.
I'm so glad we understand each other.
Darlene Montgomery. What a pleasant surprise.
Dr. Garrett, thank you so much for seeing me on such short notice.
You know you've always been my favorite little patient. Now what can I do for you? Is something wrong?
No, I'm fine. It's Mother.
Amelia. I just saw her yesterday. She had a fine checkup. Did something happen?
No. It's just that when I was sitting with her this morning and Teresa brought her medication, I was stunned when I saw how much she's taking.
I see.
I know Mother has problems, and she's always taken medication, but it just seemed odd.
You know I can't discuss specifics with you.
I realize that, Doctor. So just tell me, are all of those medications really necessary?
It's not uncommon to use a combination of drugs when dealing with psychological conditions like Amelia's. Unfortunately, many of those drugs can produce rather unpleasant side effects. We often use other drugs to counter those effects.
It sounds terrible.
It sounds much worse than it really is. I assure you, it's much better than the alternative.
I suppose you're right.
Now, young lady, I've known you your entire life. Do you think I would prescribe something to any of my patients unless it was absolutely necessary?
No, of course you wouldn't. I'm just being silly. I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you, Dr. Garrett.
Hello? Who's there? No!
Wake up, Mother! It's me, Darlene! You're having a dream!
Oh, Darlene!
Vernon, what if we're doing something we're going to regret?
It's gonna go just as I planned it, Roger. Why, I doubt you'll even know when the charges go off.
I just keep hearing what Jack said. We should at least shut down our whales.
Disguising ourselves as a survey crew was a stroke of genius on my part. If we shut the wells down, we'd draw far too much attention to ourselves. Besides, all my crews know what to do in case of fire. They're very well trained.
We're putting their lives in jeopardy, Vernon.
Have I told you how happy I am to have you back here at the mansion? It didn't seem right while you were away.
I said I'd go along, Vernon. That doesn't mean I have to like it.
I'll meet you in the car.
Oh, Roger, I'm so glad you're still here. I need to talk to you about Mother.
Can it wait? I'm dealing with a business problem.
No, it can't. I have never seen her like this before.
Look, Darlene, I'm sure she's fine. Didn't she just see Dr. Garrett?
Excuse me. I didn't mean to bother you. I was wondering how long it would take for you to get back to your old self.
That's so unfair. We're both under a lot of stress at Montgomery Oil right now. Can't you show me just an ounce of understanding? Try and remember what it was like to be my wife.
What is the matter with you, Roger?
You thought I didn't see you talking to Lionel Sinclair at the club, did you? Well, I did.
So what? We were just talking. Don't start thinking you're going to control me like before.
Oh, I see. So I'm not supposed to have any feelings at all. I was a drunk. I was a bastard to be with. I know it all, Darlene. You tell me often enough.
That's not true.
You remind me every chance you get. I'm starting to wonder if I'll ever have your forgiveness. I've even gotten it from the almighty Vernon Montgomery, but not you.
Daddy wasn't sleeping next to you. I was.
There you go. It's all my fault. It always will be.
Just look at those drills, Lionel. Soon we'll be pumping more oil than you can handle at Senco.
Oh, I can handle anything you send my way, Delilah.
Oh, really? Even this?
Mr. Montgomery, please consider what you're about to do.
I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm protecting my future.
And what if the shale doesn't absorb the explosion? You heard Jack. Our wells could catch fire. At least let me shut them down until we know it's safe.
And risk drawing attention to ourselves. Nothing's gonna happen except that we're gonna have back what we're entitled to.
Delilah, we can't do this. What about Daniel Hubbard? I thought you two were...
Daniel was just a means to an end. I could never really be with a man like him. Not really.
So why me?
Because you hate Vernon as much as I do, and it turns me on.
I know why I hate him. What'd he do to you?
Oh, God, this is insane.
Vernon, just think about this.
Enough thinking. It's time for action. 3, 2, 1.
I've never told anyone why I hate Vernon so much. But I think I want to tell you. I feel like I can trust you.
Of course you can. Go on.
All right. About 5 years ago, Vernon was on a business trip.
Fire!
Oh, God.
What
the hell is that sound, Lionel?
I don't know.
Oh, my God! Look!
Oh, my
it's
God.
one of Vernon's oil wells! It's on fire!
Next time on Eye of the Storm, Amelia's taking back her life.
How much medication are you taking?
Teresa doesn't know it, but I started flushing them down the sink last week.
And a 10-year mystery unfolds.
I think I've been there.
Been there?
To that lake in my dream.
But will her search for the truth
I've never been hypnotized before.
lead her to the man of her nightmares?
Please, who are you? No!
Next time on Eye of the Storm.